Welcome, everybody. We are getting ready to celebrate in this AI power session. I know I am excited for this live stream today. I've been looking for it. I'm literally shaking because I think, well, I guess my hand's not shaking, but inside I'm shaking because this is going to be an awesome event. And if we have not met yet, my name is Cher Jones, and we are talking all things AI in this AI power session. And of course, which I'll be introducing them properly in just a minute, I want to just give you a quick shout out to our guests today. If you guys have been looking out, you can see them there, Allie and Conor, but let me take over for just a second first, because I'm excited about launching Allie's very first AI course on LinkedIn. And y'all, if you needed to get access, let me hook you up right now. We got free access to the course, so you can get it now after anytime you want. Don't worry, it is ready and available for you. So there's the QR code. We'll be sharing that in the comments. And if any of you are watching right now and you've got the link, share it in the comments, be a friend, and be an AI supporter of this incredible power session. So I'm excited to celebrate again the launch. And we've got the AI superstar and a newly minted expert along with a special guest. So I want you guys to now properly meet our guest. And first, we're going to start with our guest, and then we're going to bring in the guest of honor, of course, Allie. So let's start with Conor. And just so you guys, if you haven't met Conor before, he's a Chief AI Architect at NYU Stern School of Business. He's a CEO and founder of AI Mindset. And this is a consulting company working with teams across the industry. And I know he's feeling all uncomfortable right now because I have him full screen, and that's okay. And Conor, you've worked with OpenAI, McKinsey, NASA, JP Morgan, and ServiceNow, and SAP and more. And if that isn't enough, as we have your face plastered on the screen, I do want to let everybody know that you're also a New York Times and #1 international bestselling author, and you've been published in 15 languages. Welcome, Conor, to the show today. We're so excited to have you.
What an introduction. Cher, I need you with me all the time, like tethered to me, just to talk about me everywhere I go. Thank you for having me. What a joy.
It definitely is a joy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I had a drum roll, because we have the AI extraordinaire. We are so excited to celebrate with you, Allie K. Miller. And for those of you who don't, well, there's literally nobody who does not know you, my friend. And the exciting thing about it is, for those of you, just in case, you are the most followed voice on AI business in the world. And you're also a Fortune 500 AI advisor who used to work with Amazon and IBM and so much more. And this, my friend, is your launch to the course. And I think it's appropriate, my friends, that we celebrate in style. Allie, you ready for this? You ready?
I think so.
Okay, so we were like so ready to celebrate that we all have confetti, and I think it's time, right? Let's lock this out. I know my office.
I'm sure I'm going to make a mess of it.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, celebrate! Okay, so
Allie, your hair, Allie.
It's okay. That's how we know we're live.
Exactly. We're live, ready to go. And again, I want to remind you guys that you can access the course right now, and it is available, and it is free for 1 week only. So again, if you have the link to the course, if you've already checked it out, share the link in the comments to make it easy for everybody else. We are about to dive in the comments because we want to know, friends, where are you streaming from? We've got people all over. Oh, I see that Zachary says that Cher is a hype woman. I'm going to show a few comments. Thank you so much. And
she's the greatest. Everyone should be following her. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, let me get rid of this overlay and share a moment with you guys. Are you excited about this?
Super psyched. I feel like everyone should be learning this, and it's infrequent that we get just like a dedicated session to this. So I'm super excited. I know Cher has been a hype woman for the first several minutes, but I just want to say a personal thank you. I texted these folks, begged them and pleaded, or thought that I would have to beg and plead. And within 5 seconds, they're like in. So I am super, super excited that they're here. Conor's an unbelievable voice on AI on LinkedIn. Give him a follow. Cher, I've been attending your lives for now several years. If you think she's a hype woman now, imagine when she's talking about her own work. Okay, so give her a follow as well. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here.
Yeah, let me actually just say also that I was thrilled to be invited. I feel very much like a special guest. Cher is amazing, and Allie, of course, is the voice to listen to. The thing that I'm excited about right now, but especially the course, I will admit I already took the course. I grabbed it when it first came out in the first few seconds, and to be able to hear, I've known Allie for a little while now, and Allie on stage, everything is amazing. But in these sessions and on this LinkedIn course that we're celebrating today, hearing her one-on-one is really a gift and extraordinary. So I'm super pumped for today and the course.
Okay, there's someone from a city called Jupiter. Did you see that?
I saw that.
It was amazing.
Right? Look at that. All right, Sean, thank you for joining us all the way from Jupiter, Florida. We've got Massimo from Italy. We got Singapore in the house. We've got Las Vegas.
Thank you all for joining. I'm so pumped.
Allie, people are here for you. People are here to learn from the two of you, because I am excited to get this session started, right? Because this is literally a AI power session. And we're going 5 rounds in this power session. And we got 5 questions, and both Allie and Conor are ready to bring it. So let's start right away with our very first question. And so the question is, we're going to start heavy. And then we are going to make sure that everybody can really apply the heavy and really bring it into how they use AI in their lives on a daily basis. And so that we can really have this world where we're integrating AI into just how we do things. So the first question, I'm going to start with you, Conor. What is your go-to prompting framework? What's the thing that your rock star move?
Yeah, it's a built-in idea framework more than anything else, but I call it HTG, high, thanks, great. And the idea behind this is that the absolute best thing you can do from a prompting standpoint, 30,000-foot view, is talk to this like a human. You already probably know that, but the problem is it's hard to talk to it like a human. Why? Because it doesn't look like a human. It looks like Google, and your brain doesn't like that. So I go with this very simple idea, hi, thanks, great, meaning I say hi to it. Think I'm crazy, whatever you want. I'm not anthropomorphizing it. I'm just sort of saying that this gets my brain trained in this right kind of mindset to start talking to it like a human. That's really important. The thanks part is this idea that it's kind of linguistic matching. Like when you're saying thanks, it means that you're respecting your thought partner here. And with AI, yes, it's not real. We know it's not real, but look, you talk to your cat and dog like a human, so I'm not going to apologize for that. But what it actually does is, again, keeps your brain thinking, okay, like I'm really talking to somebody that's iterative. This is not command response of Google. And the great part is you want to give it feedback. Don't just say, give me 5 ideas for blah, blah, blah. Say, what's good? You know what? I like number 2, but I didn't like number 3. And I really like number 4 because blah, blah, blah. The great is giving it feedback. One of the little element I'll add to that is the best thing you can do besides just talking to it like a human and really training our brains to talk to it like a human. It's harder than it sounds. Is to give it as much context as possible. Why are you asking? What's the basic information? If you're talking to it about a client or something, get as much information about that client as possible and chuck it all in there. And then the last thing I'll just say is give it examples. I mean, say, and a good answer looks like this, a bad answer looks like this. Ultimately, if you're treating this like a new colleague and how you would talk to a new colleague, that tends to work in ChatGPT and other large language models.
Love it, love it, love it. And it's true, because when you are giving it that context, I notice the output is just so much sweeter. And sometimes I do get a little sassy in what I say to it back. I'm like, no, I'm not feeling that one. This just doesn't sound like me. Let's try that again. So I love it. Hi, thanks. Great is your framework. Now, Allie, let's move into your framework. What are we talking about today?
Sure. And I guess I should, maybe we should have started with just like, what is prompting? Anytime that you're dealing with a new AI tool or an AI tool you're used to using, there's going to be some sort of interface. The interface could be asking you for text, for images, for audio, for any combination of those. It could be asking to turn an image into a moving meme. But the prompt is the stuff you're giving it. It's the way you talk to it, the way you give instructions. And just like what Conor was talking about, it's really helpful to first just have a mindset of how you're going to talk to this thing. And it is important to talk to it like you could imagine its training data is, which is the internet and scholarly papers and, maybe social media comments or something. But it's trained on natural language. So it is very helpful to have a more, maybe a more casual approach versus something that's like over-engineered in your head. That being said, I do think it is helpful to have a framework. Conor has his, I have mine. I call it the WISER framework. WISER. And every single one is going to stand for one. Let's give you an example. Let's say that you are a business leader or a team leader or a solopreneur or a consultant or something, and you want to give a quarterly business report. Maybe you're giving it to an end customer. Maybe you're giving it to your internal, team, and it's just an email that goes out every quarter. Right now, that is done completely manually. You probably have an operations person that's doing that as part of their full-time job. That person is now going to be augmented with AI through that process. Using the WISER framework, here's how you'd break it down. The W is who. You are assigning the AI an identity. Basically, AI can talk in a bunch of different tones, a bunch of different ways, and anchoring it with a specific identity is going to be unbelievably helpful to give it like a zone to play in so that it knows whether it should sound like Shakespeare or sound like your mom, I guess, talking to your cat. So giving it that identity. So let's say, you're an operations expert with 20 years experience. Great. The I is instructions, and Cher, if it's possible to show that like kind of framework cutout, I think that could be super helpful just to see. So for instructions, you're going to give it basically just that top task, right? Feel free to screenshot this, guys. What is the top task, the top goal? What's the big thing? So in this case, it's going to be, hey, you're going to write a, 5-paragraph quarterly business report that's going to include sections, blah, blah, and blah. Okay, then you're going to have a subtask or criteria. That double hash is just like a markdown language. It's like an indented under that task and goal. These are super, super helpful things. You don't have to be a coder, okay? You're going to give it subtasks. So, first read through the spreadsheets that I give you and break out the highlights, lowlights, and delta. Then review the documents I give you and break out where we should go from here and what worked well. Then XYZ, then XYZ. I completely agree with Conor. He is spot on. You have to give examples as part of this context. I prefer giving multiple examples. If I'm trying to write an Instagram caption, I might give literally 20, 30 examples. If I'm writing something like a quarterly business report, I might give 3 just because they're really long. And so you want to give it those solid examples. That is WISE. The R is exactly what Conor was mentioning, just with a different letter, which is review the darn output. There are going to be times where it's wrong. There are going to be times where it's not at all what you needed, and we need the Cher sassy response. There are times where it's like, sorry, I couldn't read that data, and you're going to have to say like, actually, I know you can do it. Okay? It takes this weird like obstacle of language to overcome, but WISER, honestly, like add it to your sticky note on your desktop, put it on a Post-it next to you, use the HTG framework, whichever one resonates with you, but you should be going into these systems. And even though you see a blank thing that looks like Google, your mind should be going, I need to give it context, and here's one framework to do it.
I love it. So we've got 2 frameworks for you guys. We've got the HTG framework. Hi, thanks, great. And we also have the WISER framework, which is who, instructions, subtasks, examples, and review. All right. So the interesting thing with both of these, I really see the attention to detail more than anything else. And that context matters for the output that we're going to get, and really priming the pump for the answers. I guess the more focused and the more detailed we are in the process, we will get a better output. So I bet you there's opportunities to make big mistakes. And Allie, I want to start with you. What are some of the biggest mistakes that people are making within prompting?
There are several. I think the first is that everyone thinks that AI is this like insanely brilliant being that is floating in our minds like an alien. And you should just like push that aside, stop watching sci-fi movies for like 5 seconds. And it's not a mind reader. It's like a somewhat smart intern that you can give instructions to and examples to. And in the same way that you have to learn to communicate with your teammate or your boss or your spouse or whomever, you need to give it that context on your background, on the way you like to work or whatever. ChatGPT has a setting called memory that some folks turn on. I turn it off just because I have to use it for so many clients, but most people would benefit from turning it on. And that way it learns, what's your role in life? What type of output do you like? Are you someone that likes really long answers? Do you like concise? Do you like bullets? Do you like paragraphs? So just assume it is not a mind reader. Thank you. And overcome that by giving it way more context. I'd rather have you over communicate than under communicate with this.
I think that is powerful. It is not a mind reader. We can't expect amazing without giving it amazing to roll with. So I love that. And I want to remind everybody right now watching that if you've got a framework, this is a community conversation. This is, yes, we've got our two incredible experts here that are sharing their goods, but we know that you've got goods too. So definitely share in the comments. We will be able to go back, learn from you, and connect with you. This is a great chance for everyone to connect and learn. So thank you so much for staying tuned and sharing. I'm seeing a lot of people who are definitely sharing already what they know as well. So this is a community conversation. So Conor, let's move on to you. What's your mistake that you want to make sure everybody doesn't make?
Yeah, I mean, first, sure, like what you just said is exactly right when you said everybody chip in with this. Allie and I talk about this all the time. We all learn from each other. So if something new comes out, it's not like it comes out with a set of instructions. If it's ChatGPT or Claude or any of these other things, it's literally Allie and I go to Twitter and follow Allie on Twitter. If you're not following her on Twitter, her demos on these things are amazing. So Allie is the first person I go to on Twitter to sort of say, hey, how's Allie actually using this thing? So yes, we're all learning from each other. Put it in the chat, share with us on LinkedIn, everything else. I will say that the biggest mistake I see is very similar to Allie's. It's, as Allie said, it's not a mind reader. You have to talk to it. Yeah, man, like listen, the big mistake people make is just believing that prompting is some special skill, that you have to be a prompt engineer or you have to learn how to be a prompt engineer. It is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard, because essentially our brain is telling us, well, this is software, and all of software in the history of software, I've had to learn how to use this software. But ChatGPT and these other things are not like French or calculus or Excel. In those situations, the learning curve is very steep. You have to learn it. The execution is the hard part, is usually the easy part, right? You like learn French over 4 years, or for me, 8 years. And then you go to France and you actually just talk. And that's the easy part. People think that there's some big learning curve to learning prompt engineering. It's not. The hard part is the execution. And if you can remember that it's not a mind reader, and also in the way that I think about it is that you don't need a special skill. And people say, talk to it like a human. But you know what? That's hard. Again, like I said, because it doesn't look like a human. It's like trying to talk to a baby like a college professor all day. Good luck with that. Also, you'll look like an absolute lunatic. But here's the thing. You have to start training your brain. And the only way to do that, and the easiest way, is, as Allie said, think of it like a new colleague. It's not some brilliant sci-fi thing. It is just a new colleague. If you had a new colleague sitting next to you, what would you say? You'd say, hey, so, here's what you need to do. Here's some good examples of what good looks like. Try some ideas and tell me, and here's some examples. And then they say, how about this? And you know what? That's not actually that great. That's not prompting. Those aren't special words. That's just me talking to a colleague. Just do that with your computer. It's going to look and feel ridiculous at first, but the more you can do that, the more you can train your brain, the better off it's going to be. It cannot read your mind. So give it feedback as if you would a new colleague that you're working with.
I also want to add, so first, the course, which is that QR code in the bottom right corner of your screen, has so many examples of good prompts. There's an entire cheat sheet of prompts that are attached to that course. And also during the course, I talk about prompting. So definitely grab that. One thing that I want to add, and a friend, Parth, had this great analogy, which is when you talk to sticks, they don't tell you how to make fire. But for whatever reason, ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini do. So if you're ever stuck, if you're ever like, how come it didn't, put it in bullets, even though I asked for it in bullets? How do I ask it to code a POC, a proof of concept for a new product for me? Literally ask it that thing. Instead, like I literally, in my team, I run an AI first team. We don't say Google it, we say ask AI, because when we're stuck on something, the first thing we do is ask itself. Okay. So like if we're stuck, we just say, hey, can you help me do XYZ? Can you help me write a quarterly business report? Can you help me? Okay. So use that weirdness to your advantage.
It's interesting because I've done the same thing where I'm asking you, who do you need to be to help so that I can get those roles? And especially when you, as you guys were saying, it's all about the detail. It's all about providing that context so that it can best position itself to help you. So I love that. And it's asking. So our next question, because we are doing it. We are doing the thing. And a lot of us and a lot of us watching, and I've seen a lot of AI experts chime in and share their advice. So the people who are using prompting and AI just on a regular basis, what do we do next? What's the next thing that we should be thinking about as we are trying to level up our skills? And Conor, let me go with you.
Yeah, it's such a good question. So the way that I think about this completely is the next thing you have to do, if you're already starting to master it, is figure out how to teach other people. We have this sense that if you understand it, you're just going to tell other people because it worked for you. Oh, you know what I did? I just talked to it like a human. You tell everybody else. That's hard. It's sort of like, it's much more like weight loss than anything else, right? Or if you've figured out some healthy habit and you're like, guys, I feel great every morning. You know what you should do? Just do yoga. Man, I'm not doing yoga. I'm not getting on the treadmill. I don't care, right? The hard part is not just telling somebody how to use it and they use it. The hard part is how do you actually get people thinking about this differently? Because in your organization, this is not just about you. This is about how you level up your team, how you level up your organization. That's what gets you recognized. That's what like really sets, sort of pours rocket fuel on your team. And this is why this course by Allie Miller exists. I'm not trying to hype her up, but this is who I follow. This is why I was so happy to be on this LinkedIn Live, because on Allie's course, again, I've already taken it. Share that with other people. It's great if you're going to take it. This is free, as I understand, for the next few days, guys. Share it wide and share it far, because it's not enough to just tell people, this is what I figured out. Talk to it like a human. Hey, guess what I figured out? Eat less and exercise. I lost weight. It's like, yeah, I know, but I'm still shoving Doritos in my face, right? You have to share this out to other people, because Allie really, and I mean this, she knows I mean it, is an incredible teacher. It's 40 minutes. It's super fast. Train other people.
I love that. And even right now in the chat, those of you who know, so why not share? Why not teach and train, even in just sharing what you know right now? So
the comment section is going to be like an unbelievable resource. Wow.
Absolutely. I think we should do something with it. So what about you, Allie? What's my next? What's my next? That's what I want to hear.
So first, I love the idea of leveling up people around you. Very few people have to work completely in a silo. And I know that probably people around you are anti-AI or don't understand what the heck is going on. So it's not even just that teaching others actually makes you better at it. It's that teaching others or sharing this link or sharing, the recording of this is going to take a burden off of you and be like, I don't have to convince you why this is important. This woman and her two besties are going to be telling you about this. And like, that's a load off my back. Okay. I love Conor's advice. I'm going to add another one, which is there are so many new multimodalities in these AI systems. And I'll call out two, which is just like adding more efficiency. So ChatGPT has something called GPTs. It's like little mini bots for repeated tasks. And Claude has a feature called artifacts. So 2 seconds on each one. So ChatGPT allows you to do GPTs. That means that if you constantly are prompting, like, write me the quarterly report or write me a weekly report, and you find yourself prompting from scratch every single week, right? Bad use of your time. Bad, bad, bad. You should turn that into some sort of like standard operating procedure, a prompt that you feel like you're going to reuse. And you should basically put that into a GPT so that now you just ask the GPT, hey, here's a bunch of spreadsheets. You already know what I want from you. Give me that thing. Okay. So it's going to save you a ton of time. We on my team have dozens of GPTs. I'm using at least 2 a day. I use it for the subject lines for my newsletters that you guys just received. I use it if I'm like stuck on a closing line for a LinkedIn post, and I'm writing LinkedIn posts at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, these are good things to use when you are tired, when you're exhausted, when you feel like it's something that you've done manually and in a repeated way, and you're just frankly annoyed and bored. So GPT is one that if you're using ChatGPT, it is a must. It is my reason for upgrading to a paid account so that I can make them. If you're on a free account, totally fine. Use public ones and get a feel for what's out there. For Claude, they have a feature that is like chef's kiss beyond compare, one of the greatest releases of the entire year. It is called Artifacts. And it's the ability for Claude, which is the kind of AI assistant from Anthropic, to code its own stuff and preview the stuff. It can show you an image. It can show you an animation. It can show you a dashboard. It can show you a graph, whatever. It'll literally show you all the code and then preview that code for you. I know so many people that have just been building their own mini apps that maybe their family, their group of friends, that they're going back to this mini app because you can like publish it into a website just for yourself and go back to it. It is unbelievable. Okay. I started in AI nearly 20 years ago. This did not exist. Like its cousin didn't even exist. 1% of this didn't even exist. So it is unbelievably accessible. Those are my top 2 kind of after you feel like prompts, you're getting what you need and you don't have to scream at it every day. That is where I would take your skills next.
I love it. And also you behind the scenes, we were talking about SOPs as well.
Yeah, standard operating procedures. I have a specific client output called a flash report, which is like after we have a big advising session where I recap everything, right? I have an SOP that is 30 pages long. It's what I would give to a new hire. It's what I would give to an intern. It's what I would give if I was just explaining to someone who like just was unfrozen for the last 50 years, right? That is just a set of directions. And we keep it in a Google Doc. So that way, if a new AI assistant comes out and I'm like, ooh, I want to test that, copy, paste the 30 pages. It's already done. I'm going to add in, maybe we'll get to it later. That's
okay. Yeah. All right. So we will keep it moving. And I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite need to know AI hack?
I'm going to tie it into that answer that I just gave.
I knew it.
Okay. My favorite AI hack, which I talk about, is voice dictation. Okay. It is, if you love the High Thanks Great framework, you're going to love voice dictation because it is forcing you to talk to these systems in normal conversational language. So I use Otter AI. It's a free mobile app. Just search Otter. It looks like audio lines. And I will go on a walk and I will dictate sometimes for 45 minutes, usually for 15 to 20 minutes about a thing I have to do or my to-do list or a problem that I'm having, right? And I'll just talk. I'm literally walking through New York City, talking to AI or talking to a transcript. And it sounds maybe a little strange to people walking next to me, but I just pretend I'm talking to like an intern. So I talk for 15 minutes and I take that transcript and then either put it, just as is into ChatGPT or Claude, or when I say that I have that SOP, I leave a section like with those hashtags that I showed in Wiser with examples at the bottom. I will have a section that just says #draft or #transcript. And then I'll just take what I just did and drop it in. So all of these things, right? Running an AI first team, being AI first, that is the sort of workflow, but voice dictation, number 1. Conor.
I love it. Okay. So Conor, first we were talking about Otter AI and I love Otter. I've been like an OG Otter user. Okay. I've been using it before it got expensive when you use the paid account. But that being said, what is your hack? What's the need to know for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the voice thing, as Ali says, is phenomenal. These things are built in, so few people use them. You can use voice. When I do demos, Ali and I have kind of exchanged demos at various times, and I've watched Ali do these courses before. And again, if you haven't yet clicked that QR code, guys, I'm begging you to watch Ali do this for 40 minutes.
You're very kind, Conor.
Something else. It's pretty unbelievable. But here's the thing: voice is amazing. What I do with voice is things like practice hard conversations, practice negotiations, practice sales calls, things like that. And you sort of give it a client profile or something like that and do that. It's super fun. It's super funny, but also, as Ali says, just in the car, the one that I love also is vision. ChatGPT has eyeballs and it's amazing. And so it's one of these things where you're like, what kind of plant is this? Or, hey, this plant I just murdered. How could I have not murdered it? Or, oh my gosh, what's this on my arm? Something like that. It's not a doctor. But the thing that I use it for all the time is an IT help desk. So on my laptop, how it's like, oh, there's no audio input. I'm like, but I clicked the thing, and your laptop is just sitting there, be like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you didn't do it, right? So I now click it with ChatGPT, click a photo. I'm just like, hey, no audio. It's like, you know what? Mac is being a pain in the butt. Here's what you do. Click on the Apple, go down advanced settings, click, there's a little padlock pop. It's amazing. Get used to using voice all the time. Get used to using vision all the time. And again, just hearing, sorry, I'm not trying to sort of like plug this, but I'm telling you, Ali is the person that I learn from, especially on Twitter and LinkedIn. And this course, I'm not going to keep plugging the course, sorry,
Yeah.
but it's so exciting because I've already taken it and it was so cool. It's 40 tight minutes. And when you share it out with other people, like, hey guys, this is what we need to know. It's super exciting.
Conor, I have screenshotted errors and sent it in. I screenshotted my desk broke. I just took a photo of it and said, how do I fix this? I fixed my Wi-Fi. I fixed my neighbor's track lighting. Like that. I went to a store in New York, took a picture of an entire wall of games. And I said, evaluate each of these games. Which one should I buy for my 6-year-old cousin? And like, pick out which one. And it was able, right? It doesn't just look at the whole image. It's looking at pieces. It's looking at text within the image. I took a picture of a wall of purses and said, I'm traveling to Italy. Which one should I pick? Like that image feature, again, multimodality, 2024 is the year of multimodality, period, stop. It is so much fun. I feel like Wolverine plus Harry Potter plus insert favorite wizard here using that feature. So I love that example, Conor.
That is a great example. And guys, guess what? This has been moving so quickly. I know the comments are going nuts, and we are down to the last and final question. And so, you know what? I just want your final bit of advice. Like, tell me what I should do. Now we've had this wonderful conversation. We've got frameworks, we've got hacks, we've got things that we've never thought about before. Now, how do we round it out with some nice final advice? And I'm going to go with you, Conor, and then we'll end out on Ali.
Super quick, because we have talked about this a lot. Thank you all for joining, by the way. It's really humbling to see so many of you out there. For me, it's don't worry too much about the latest tech, about all that kind of stuff. Don't worry if people seem to be flying ahead. Do not worry if you feel like, oh, I'm not a technical person. This rewards non-technical people. This rewards even people who have liberal arts degrees and everything else, because it's a communication device. Try it and you will see. And again, it's easy to say try it in the same way it's easy to say just eat less and exercise. You need frameworks. You need to be taught. Allie's course is a phenomenal place to start. I would just get started on it.
I love it. Just use what's available. Just get started. Try it out. That is phenomenal advice. And I think that's just what people need to do to get started. I know for myself, I was an early but reluctant adopter, because I, as a writer, as someone who writes a lot and creates a lot, I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, is this going to be better than me? And guess what? Yes and no. So it's what you give it and what you can create from it. It's literally giving you a head start, but you got to use what you got. And I'm in Canada, Toronto right now, and we just got Claude a month and a half ago. And so I've been playing around, and I can't wait to try out artifacts. I have not done that yet, so that's exciting. And using what's available. So that's available to me that I haven't used yet. And now, Ali, what about you? What should we do? The final advice.
What should we do? Other than just please, please, please show your thanks for Cher and Connor. Cher, I don't know how you keep this energy for this entire live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Connor, you are brilliant. I know you've mostly been telling everyone to click on the QR code, all those things, but you are equally brilliant and have been doing unbelievable content online. I think just following up on Connor's point with one thing, which is like actually a lot of underperformers are the most helped with AI. I think that's like a really important thing. It is not the case that like experts are coming in with 20 years of experience and somehow, lapping you. It's not really like that. There's a great study with BCG and MIT. Just look up BCG MIT study. You'll see that like the underperformers, bottom first, actually gained a lot more by using AI. Okay, other than using that QR code, please God, take this course. It has been a labor of love. Huge shout out to the LinkedIn Learning team. It is totally free for the next 6 days. This is my, I think, only free AI course right now that's in video. So definitely click on that. Okay, that being said, if I had to end on like one, oh my God, what's the thing?
What's the thing?
Other than saying there's literally no perfect unlock. What I have learned in my years in Silicon Valley, my years as an investor, my years in tech, all these things, is that speed of iteration is the secret to life and success, and having friends and hydrating and being nice and having dogs and all those things. Okay? But mostly
iteration though.
Yeah, exactly. Mostly speed of iteration. Speed of iteration is it. Those who experiment win. And so if you are faced with a new AI tool, first, don't feel the pressure to try out all these new AI tools. Okay, but if you're faced with one, if you're faced with a big question, if you're in a conference and there's a new AI session you haven't been in, if you heard a prompt that gets you really excited and you have something broken in your house and you want to fix it with that ChatGPT vision or inputting an image into cloud, whatever. You need to figure out some system, and my course has like a whole set of habits that I literally use every single day to make this a habit. Okay, it's a mindset shift. You have to experiment with this stuff. My counteract to what I just said is that sometimes when I experiment, it sucks. Okay, sometimes when I experiment, it is not the right tool. AI is not performant enough to use it in that regard. It is too risky. It is too dangerous. It is too dumb. It can't have that functionality, whatever. My saying experimentation is also me challenging you all to figure out how to break the shit out of these tools and be the person who says, I know that AI can help me with this, and I'm not going to use it for these 3 things, or it's too risky for these things. I don't like using it for these things. It doesn't give me joy to use it for these things. I prefer doing it in a human way with these things. That is your decision and your decision alone. But the only path to figuring out that answer is experimentation. So please, please, other than taking that course, other than showing your love to my 2 unbelievable guests, get into the habit of just giving it a go.
I love it. Just giving it a go. I mean, this is exactly what we need to do. This is why we are here today. Speaking of just giving it a go, my friends, I mean, right here, you got free access for 1 whole week. And as Connor said, I mean, it's a quick, and I mean quick, 40, 45 minutes to get through it. And I mean, why not? This is all about having this AI first life that brings you, well, I'm going to be corny, but it's going to make you get to become first, do the things, get it done faster, get it done better. And the more we experiment, the more we adopt, the more we try new things, the more we recognize that we don't have to be an expert. We're just having a conversation. The more information we give it, the better we get out of it. So this is the time right now to level up and continue to level up, continue to experiment, continue to grow. And of course, celebrate you, Allie, because you did it. You did a thing. Woohoo! I am afraid to clean my office right now. So.
And thousands of people have already taken it. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing those certificates. It brings me extreme joy, again, at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm reviewing these things. The only reason I made this course, it is not for me, okay? I do not post online for me. I post it in the hopes that one person or several people will see it and go, I think I understand this stuff now. Or all of a sudden, I now want to try this thing. Or wow, that just unlocked something. I do it for you guys. I've been posting online for 8 years about AI. It is my hope that this is the course that helps the highest number of you. Please share it amongst your teams. It is free for the next 6 days. And then I don't really know what happens, but 6 days, 6 days, 6 days. And just eat it, watch it during lunch today.
Watch it during lunch today. Why not? That's exactly what we need to do. So I'd like to close out by saying thank you to the thousands of people watching and you guys watching on the replay. That doesn't mean you can't get in on the comments, because we are going to be combing through the comments and finding some of the best hacks that we think the world needs to know, because we know that you shared them. And if you haven't shared them, what are you waiting for? Remember what Conor said. It's all about teaching. That's iron sharpens iron. And one of the best ways to sharpen your iron is to teach. So this is the greatest way to do that in a community of people who actually care about what you're teaching. So I want to say thank you so much for watching this event. This was amazing. Allie, I am so proud of you. You are this newly minted LinkedIn learning trainer. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the club. So exciting to just have you here. And
I already got a t-shirt, so
exactly.
the minting is complete.
It's done. It is done. All right. So again, thank you for everyone for watching today. Again, share in the comments, teach one, share, because there's a lot of people. So not only share your comments and share your thoughts, share with somebody who needs to adopt this AI first mindset. Learn and I mean, this conversation was so phenomenal because of the fact that nothing was intimidating. And for those of you who are feeling like or know somebody who's kind of intimidated by the tech, if they watch this, and better yet, if they watch Allie's course, if they just take it, they will see that that's the place to be, my friends. So definitely take the course. Thank you so much for joining us today. And again, we'll see you in the comments, and looking forward to learning from you, Allie. You are just awesome. And Conor, it was a pleasure meeting you, and I'm excited for what's next. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you on the other side of the comments.